Hey, Coach. How you doing?
Val,
How was your weekend?
wonderful. How was yours? I had a wonderful weekend and had an opportunity to get with you and see you. That was always a good weekend.
I know, but it wasn't really a good weekend for everybody. And I could be talking about baseball, I could be talking about basketball, or could I be talking about
We talking about
I'm
the
so
WWF,
sorry. What's the WWF? What's that?
the World Wrestling Federation.
I don't think we're talking about that.
My
But
bad.
definitely
I slipped a little bit. I saw a couple of chairs and some things getting thrown and people getting kicked around. I was, I thought we was watching wrestling.
No, we were definitely not watching wrestling. It's time to talk about it. It's been a busy weekend. It's time to get to it. It's another edition of Talk on Tuesdays. Let's go. Another edition of Talk on Tuesdays. We are back. Coach Tony and I are so grateful that you guys are here. You guys are doing your thing, and we are here. Oh my goodness! But what what I got to tell you all is that we are here, and one of our I want to say our favorite situations that's happening is that let me go ahead and do this. There we go. Working on a different system, Coach Tony. That's how that goes.
You know,
One of
you
our
got to be able to
affiliate sponsors
multitask.
is Key Spot. Exactly. I got a multitask. So one of our affiliate sponsors is Key Spot. Connect, share, and grow. If you have a small business and you would like to connect with others, please do so. And I'll ask Mr. Springer to go ahead and place it in the room chat. And of course, you guys have been wondering, where is the book? I had two people, Coach Tony, ask me, where is the book?
Hey,
So
in
I
a
had a
minute, they're going to
conversation.
start saying, if a DJ say you're live, they need to know what's going on because some of them just DJ.
Somebody stole the records. No,
Right.
I've talked to my writing mentor, and when you graduate from having an ebook to having it be a hardcover, there's a lot of things that happen with it, and this is self-publishing. So I was promised that the book will be out before the end of the month, and for me, that means this week or next week. So please, I thank everyone, including Mr. Springer, including my friends out in Brooklyn, Paulette and Yaki and all my other friends that already purchased a copy. It's coming. It's me. I know nothing about publishing. This is what I love to do. So it's coming. A DJ saved my life, the giving the ABCs of podcasting, and of course, how podcasting, what I'm doing right now, has saved my life. And of course, with our Patreon channel, we are behind the scenes. You might see anything over there, but go ahead and check us out on patreon.com/interludes extra. Interludes. Oh my goodness. Well, Coach, it was good seeing you over the weekend.
And I
I
was
mean, wasn't
excited.
it
My
nice?
guys were excited. They're like, oh, there go Val. I saw Val, coach. I saw, hey, relax, man. You know, you know, go get a picture, get an
I
autograph. Val's a superstar right now, man. I'm like, come on, man. They,
of
they, they,
course,
they
and
don't do that. They don't do me like that. Like, I see you all the time, coach, but I don't see Val.
well, it was good seeing you, and of course, we have in the chat. Let us know that you're there. King Wise is in the building. He says we were getting ready to drop 24 karat gold bars. Thank you so much for that.
Daniel,
Of
Daniel,
course,
Daniel, Daniel Nelson's up in the house, baby. What's good?
Oh, wonderful. What's up, Daniel? And of course, Mr. Springer has recognized that we have 1.15 subscribers. Hooray! Woo!
Right.
Thank you so
Like I
very
said,
much
if
for
you
that.
ain't gonna like us, look at us, share this, subscribe to it, then get off the show. You know what I'm saying? You got to do all that now. Though I need you to like it. I need you to look at it. I need you to share it. And more important, I need you to continue to subscribe. This is Interludes Talk on Tuesday with Val, the boys, and you already know me, Coach Tony. We're going to have food tonight.
Of course, of course. And I got a chance to go do some bike riding. I would normally not show my hair looking that goofy, but I got in 7 miles. Now my body started to cry a little bit the following day, but I did 7 miles on the bike, Tony.
I
I'm
was
very
proud
proud
of
of
you when you
myself.
told me that because I couldn't get 7 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
I got 7
And,
miles on the
and
bike.
I'm in shape. I can't. I'm like, ooh, girl. About 7 minutes in, Val, I
Well,
start talking. How far we the road? About 3 miles?
Well, Coach
Man,
Tony was here in the Chicagoland area at the Romeoville Athletic Event Center. Let us know what was happening with you and your assistant coach. What was going on, Coach?
man, we came up, man, Coach Justin, man. Shout out to my guy, Coach Justin Allen, my right-hand man, my brother in crime. We had the boys in town playing AAU event out in Romeoville. Had a great weekend. And the boys played very well, so I was really proud of them. And again, you know, it was a great trip, worthwhile. And when they saw you, it made everything.
I know, and I was really happy to see everybody, and just definitely see the parents, see some of the students, and you guys represent and do so well with coaching the kids. And I don't know if they won any of their meets. How did they do on Sunday? I know they didn't win on Saturday, but how did they do
We
on
won, we
Sunday?
won, we won everything. We won 3 games on Sunday, so we ended up, going 3-2 for the weekend. So successful weekend. It was great, and that was that's some cool pictures right there, some cool cats. You know what I'm saying? And
I
everybody
know.
don't realize the one thing that's the centerpiece is Val the voice in both pictures. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's
Well, something that many of you might not know, and I know we've mentioned it, that both myself and Coach, we both graduated from a PWI, North Central College, where we got a chance to meet some of the Black alumni. I got a chance to meet over the weekend our new president of the college, Anita Thomas, Dr. Anita Thomas. She's there in the center with the red shirt on. This is the first time there has been a woman and a woman of color to
a
be the
sister
president of our fair, a sister at
by
our fair college.
SISTA.
So just before I came and met up with you guys in Romeoville, I was there in Naperville at the president's home. And a lot of us from the 90s were there. So that was a fun time. But that's her in the red, Dr. Anita. She was really a sweetheart, very down to earth. I'm telling you, Coach, I turned around and looked at her and was like, oh, can you help me with this? And then I realized, oh, wait, we're here to see you.
Right. She like, Val, I ain't lifting no finger this week. I don't know what you talking about.
And of course, Lisa Horton Partway, she came out in 94 and she still works for the school. I think she also graduated with her master's. That's her. She knows so much history. When we talk about school spirit, that is her up and down. And so I got a text from Benita. Now this is a fun picture. That's Michelle. I don't know if you recognize Michelle
Yeah,
and
that's my baby
Joan.
right there. That's my girl, Michelle
All
and
of us.
and Walter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we the three of us, the three women in this shot, graduated from a Chicago Vocational High School in Chicago, and then we all found our way magically over to North Central. And there, of course, that's Walter Johnson. I gave him the weirdest greeting. He was like, "Is that Val?" And I was like, "Oh well, dang. How are you?"
Right. Like you should have been like, obviously you don't watch the podcast, obviously, Walter.
Obviously, you do not watch the podcast.
Hey, we
Kenyatta
put Walter,
and
we put Walter on the strip because Walter was balling. The largest minority class to come through, and then he balled. I mean, we made his time at the university. I mean, a great time and all that. That was real good.
And these three young ladies are from your class. That is Kenyatta, Jessica, and Melanie. And of course, from 94 is Kim. And of course, my goodness, it was good to see everyone and just, I don't know, all smiles, all cheering on. And another fan of the show is to my right there is Dave Kendall and his beautiful wife. Got a chance to meet him. And of course, the selfie. I threw myself in that particular shot, but he says every time that I send something, he says that he watches the delay and he loves the Pull Up Podcast. He's a big supporter of you with the Pull Up Podcast.
I like that.
Thanks. Thanks so much, Dave. We really appreciate the support, and we let folks know at North Central that that's what we do. And yes, of course, there's Benita over to the left, and she and her husband.
Benita Applebaum. Gotta put me on.
She's the one that texted me and said, "Are you coming?" And I was like, "Oh yes, I am. I'm coming. And I don't think I would have come unless she sent a text message, but I stayed, and a few of us stayed until the very end. But I really had a great time. And then I came over, and then I met up with you.
Yeah, it's crazy part about it. If you would have hit me, right, and said, "Hey, I'm out," and because we were done. I mean, we finished ball. We just chilled at the restaurant, was drinking, watching TV, and just chilling.
I know. But here's the thing. I love when you get a chance to travel with the team, and ladies and gentlemen, Coach drives the team. They don't fly in, they drive in. And
I'm
know
like John
that you know that Nashville to Chicago, like the back of your hand. You know exactly what roadways and highways to go through and be like, you know what, we're going to be here in 90 minutes. I know where all the Portillos are. Like it's a whole ministry with you.
Hey, let me tell you something, Val. I get them ready before I leave. Look, let me tell you right now. I'm gonna give you the 3 rules that we going in the store. Don't ask for nothing, don't touch nothing, and you ain't getting nothing. So when they get in the car, let me tell you right now, go use the bathroom. We ain't stopping for nothing. You ain't eating nothing. We ain't getting nothing till we get to such and such a point. And I know when I leave Nashville, I'm coming. I may stop a little bit in Kentucky, maybe for Louisville, but I know my stopping points because I got to get where I got to go. And as I mentioned last night, it was funny. I beat 5 parents back to Nashville who actually flew. They went to Midway and O'Hare, and by the time the airplanes got them out, they got on the plane. I was already back in Tennessee.
Yeah, and I've been talking with friends of mine, especially family. Many of us are traveling. This feels weird. I'm on East Coast time, so it's after 9 o'clock where I'm at. I'm floating around here, but there have been a lot of storms in the area, in the South as well as in the middle of the country, and you have even talked about avoiding some things. Really quickly, Mark, I have texted you and I have texted Coach Tony. Call Coach Tony when you get a chance. He says he's glad to see you, friend.
And
Coach
matter of
Tony,
fact, Mark,
and
I'm gonna get on Mark, Val, because not only did you text Mark and you copy me, I then went and text Mark in an individual, and I still ain't heard from him. So I'm about to cook you. It's like a Kevin Hart roast show tonight, Mark. I'm about to roast you, buddy. I'm about to roast you. I love you, but I'm about to roast you up in here.
But it's so good to see everyone there. But oh boy. Now, in the first part of April, we did a whole breakdown of we've got to talk about Diddy. And I was thinking, I said, I don't really want to have this conversation. I really don't want to talk about it. And I was thinking, I said, you know what? We'll probably mention what has happened, but we don't really have to
get the people what they need. You got to get the people what they need.
We don't have to really get into it too deep. And then I was thinking, no, we're going to have to. So, Coach, we are back at this over the weekend, myself and you, we were very busy. You were coaching, I was bike riding and reminiscing with people from North Central. And on Friday, a video dropped, and I'm not going to play it. It's been played hundreds of times. I have some stills from it, but it's from Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles that Diddy is Sean Diddy Combs is seen running down the hallway in a white towel, and singer Cassie, his ex-girlfriend, is running away from him, but then it's seen throwing her down and kicking her. And I have to say, when I watched this for the first time and saw it on CNN, I stopped and then I couldn't watch it anymore because I was thinking there are too many folks that I either personally know or have helped in a situation where there's been abuse. And I had to just pause because the violence was jarring in my mind. And then I'm thinking, it's you? Someone musically that I've admired for over so many years. I didn't know these things were happening behind closed doors. And now the doors open, you have on a white towel, and you are bold enough to show your very ugly true colors and beat an innocent girl, your girlfriend at the time. And Coach, this is something that troubles me to the core. As I mentioned this, I dated somebody probably a year or two out of college, and I went to see him in Baton Rouge. And I don't know, he got upset with me about something, and then he hit me.
Wow.
And I was thinking to myself, I defiled my mom, Tony. I was, hot in the pants. So I defiled my mom and went to see him. And I'm thinking, I went through all of this to see you. And you get angry enough to put your hands on me? For myself, we were done. I didn't see him anymore. Our relationship was over. But in situations like a Cassie, the one thing that's very disturbing is that when they met, and Cassie, I don't know if people know how she is or what she looks like. She is a beautiful girl. Looks means nothing, but I'm just saying she's a beautiful young lady. And she was, I want to say 18, 19 years old when they met. Now, of course, in 2005, Diddy is, who he is. Well-known musical mogul. He has produced some of the biggest music top 10 top ever songs of all time. We got Biggie Smalls, we got Mace, we got Faith Evans, we got Mary J. Blige. The remixes from Mariah Carey, Busta Rhymes, Pharrell. The list goes on and on. And Cassie wanted to be a part of that and wanted to sing. She's a singer. Then they started dating. But did you know behind closed doors that this young lady was suffering? And it bothers me that people at one point, we talked about this back in November, December. No, this was November when she filed the claim against him. There was a lot of people that said, oh, she's doing this for a money grab. And, she's just, it's none of the things that she's accusing him as untrue. And of course, Diddy even said and put out a statement on his IG that everyone is saying these things that are not true. Then we saw the video this weekend. I'm bike riding, Coach. You're coaching young men. your thoughts on this. Look at this child. Why would you want to lay hands on somebody like that? Why would you want to do that?
Let me go back to your statement, because if you still know where my man's and them is at in New Orleans, I got them people. We can still go get them. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? For real. I got a daughter,
Mhm.
and I tell these guys, whether they listen tonight, I'm going to jail. You touch my daughter. That's period. You
That's
touch my
right.
granddaughter, I'm going to jail. I'm prepared for that. I'm good for that. I got a cooling off here, been there, done that. So, but in this situation, what makes me mad more than the video, Val, and I don't know about you, and I don't even know if you even thought about this, but I did kind of on the way back. What makes me mad is I'm more mad at the hotel personnel, because it took you until this young lady came out. It took you into a situation of a lawsuit, and it took you into Diddy being taken down by a completely different situation for you to go back in your files to then pull the video and then send it to us. Like the guy, I can't remember his name, the football player from Baltimore Ravens from Alabama, beat his girlfriend in the elevator. That was that night. That video was on the next morning, period. That was handled
Mhm.
that week. This should have been years ago when it happened. So the hotel, do you say, you're looking for a come up or whatever the situation, because that's piss poor management. You see something like that, you got your hands on it. So, my thought process is, did you sit back and laugh about it? Did you sit back and was, inept about it? Did you sit back and get pissed off about it? And if all those things were a yes, then why didn't you send it to the police department? And if you did send it to the police department, why didn't the police department move on that, act on that at that time? And then this young lady, fortunately enough, she's still with us, but this could have been handled maybe behind the scenes, and this would have never been even discussed today. But when you looking at these situations, and what's making me mad is we keep talking about, I remember people last year, Val, oh, they out to our brothers. They out to our young black men. They out to tell these cats to stop acting a fool, you
Right.
know? And it's like the guys with money. That's what's killing me. It's the guys that's got a status. It's the guys that's got the money. It's the guys that can virtually have no. You got guys like myself. I never put my hand on a woman, never will. But you got the situation where you got guys don't have money, don't have status, don't have none of that, and they live in Cleveland. And you guys, they have this status about them. If that's the case, let the young lady go get you another one. Now Diddy has put himself in a situation. From what I was reading, I was telling you the other day, is his new
Right.
wife. She's now looking to file divorce because, from what the article is talking about, is just and whether it's true or not, that she asked him about that, up front, and virtually he said no, and I never did. And all of a sudden, while she's with him, all this is now coming out. So now you lied to me, and then I got to put myself in her situation, because that could be me.
Right.
And now we talk about,
Right.
you and I were debating about this last night and over the weekend. The question, Kevin, I want you to put into the chat line is, if you're looking at these artists, whether it be R. Kelly, whether it be P. Diddy, whether it be a couple other guys, Chris Brown, who's had a situation, a couple other guys, and we talk about taking their music off, how far do you go? That's the question I want to know. How far do you go? Do you take their immediate music down? Do you take their hits? Do you take their awards back? Do you take their Grammys back? If we look at sports, and you have the O'Bannon brothers out of UCLA that people don't remember, maybe early 90s, or Reggie Bush, who you definitely remember, that was with a Kardashian, all because someone got his jersey out there of a football game and he signed it, like the O'Bannon brothers did as well. And then you take this young man's Heisman Trophy away from him, and then you almost hurt his career. Luckily, he had an opportunity to go play pro football with the Saints, but it was until a few months ago, Val, they gave him his trophy back. So if that's the case, and these athletes can get hit, why can't these entertainers and these artists be the same way?
Okay. Friday. So that Diddy, the video came out, and I don't know. Kevin said, if you're looking at these artists, and it's got P. Diddy, we have R. Kelly, we got Chris Brown, how far do you go as to banning them? That's a very good question. We'll ask that question. And then also, make sure that I get some of the shots from the unfortunate video up, but that happened on Friday. That video came and it was exclusive from CNN. So they're the ones that, said, "Okay, we're going to go ahead and release this." And I'm like, "Oh boy." Then the following on Sunday, I think Sunday is when they said, "Okay, we're going to," somebody, I guess, told Diddy to go ahead and apologize. So there was
that's
short, about, so there was a 2-minute video that comes out, and he's saying that he screwed up and he's working on being a better man. And I was looking at the video, was thinking, are you sorry to Cassie? Because you never mention her in the video, number one. Are you sorry that you laid hands on her? Or are you sorry that the world saw this? Are you apologizing to us as fans? I can't do anything with your apology, Diddy. I can't. There's nothing I can do with it. You didn't hit me. You hit this young lady. You kicked her in the stomach like she was a dog. Like this. And this was 2016. It took 8 years for this to come to light. CNN had it. There's a lot of things that are out there. What happened before they came out to the hallway? I don't know. Everything
I'm with the latter now. I'm with the latter in your statement. He's in this situation because this came out. Go look at Caesar, right? On the barbershop show out of New York, and Caesar had those. And they were, it was on its way down. Black Ink, New York. He kicked his dog, and he lost his whole deal over a dog. Mm-hmm. So Diddy, you wait 8 years, 8, and now again, Val, none of this comes to light until, thank you, because they know they can't whoop his ass, they can't touch him. Mike Tyson started talking about the Biggie Papa, Tupac situation down the road and what I told you and this and that, and in all these videos. But I'm going to tell you something else, Val. You and I were talking about this. Go back and just listen to the early music. Just go back and listen to some of the early songs. I got several of them. A lot of the things, and I can give you the song. Bragging. And they're talking about in the song. Why don't you do this, and that? Him and Biggie. So if you, at that time, we were fresh to hip hop, right? Because it was early 90s, it was fresh to hip hop. It was still growing, it was still a baby, still growing. But at that time, you just thought, back when we were in school, they called them nursery rhymes, right? They called them nursery rhymes because the guys that was rap battle, Slick Rick, Dana Dane, Cool J, Kumo D, KRS-One, Rakim, those guys were battling each other because of something happened on a block in New York at the time. But you didn't see this. Now all of a sudden, you get this whole scenario, this whole situation, and then when you go back and look at that, that's why, Val, if you look at the recent rappers that have gone to prison, they've been a push from a lot of artists. Even the country guys have come their way to try to help. Kim Kardashian's on that board as well, trying to go to the Justice Department about you can't use the raps to convict these guys. But when you say, stab your mama, kick your brother on a song, I got to listen to it. I physically got to hear that.
I don't necessarily have to listen to it, but
no, I'm just saying, if I'm a prosecuting attorney and we're in court, I'm going to listen to it because you're going to spell out my case on that record. And sometimes some of these young dummies, I call them, they give you the whole detail. I pick you up at the house at 9. I went over to such and such at 10. We was doing this by 11. By 12, we was over here. And by 2 o'clock, I was in jail. They give you the entire accountability of what's happened and what they've done. So the police don't have far to search. Just listen to the song.
Right. Just listen to the gift of it going back and forth. Statistics regarding domestic violence. I just want to just tell you what I brought up. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men, even men, have experienced some form of physical violence by an intimate partner. And this includes a range of behaviors such as slapping, shoving, pushing. In some cases, domestic violence, it becomes 1 in 7 women and 1 in 25 men have been injured by someone that they're involved with.
It's a lot of people based on how big this country.
Right. This is a lot of people. So it's not. I'm on this because we're talking about it and it intersects with entertainment, but I literally had an after show, and you've been on my after show on Clubhouse. We're going one by one, like playing some of the songs that Diddy either produced or made famous. And I see Kevin has placed in the chat, according to People Magazine, New York Mayor Eric Adams may revoke Diddy Combs' key to the city after the Cassie assault video. And keep in mind, I don't know if the BET Awards is May. Yeah, it's May. So here's the thing. The BET Awards was getting ready to nominate P. Diddy for his album that came out, Love, which was about a year ago. And I don't know if you remember, last year he was the Entertainer of the Year. They gave him a big award last year. And I saw some of the BET video that prominently had him in the promo for this year's BET Awards. That has now been scrubbed, and they have done a re-edit of the promos for the BET Awards, which always celebrates Black Music Month. It always comes out in June, and they've already scrubbed the edits from that. And I'm thinking, so it took a video to do that. And you're right. The key word to this is may, because I think the number one reason why Diddy has not been arrested. Remember, his homes were raided, things were taken out, phones, computers. Diddy has a lot on other people, a lot of other prominent people. He filmed the
government,
the parties, the all of it. And so that's why that's a May. Was Eric Adams at one of his parties, one of his white parties?
That's a possibility. And then you look on the backside of it, Val, is what you're saying, and I know where you were going on that, is that if you revoke that, you know what I mean? It's crazy because then they start a snowball effect. And again, this young lady, and the only reason why he's doing all this now is because it's past the statute of limitation for the state of New York. You know, if it was in Tennessee where I'm at, he would not be passed because there is no statute. So it's based on where you are. And lucky in New York, the statute is like, I think, 6 or 7 years. And so that's, once again, Val, that's what gets me about the hotel. The hotel could have brought this in the front. So now here's a question. Here's a good question.
Okay, what you got?
Did P. Diddy know that the video existed
Of course
and
he did.
paid the
He did.
hotel off.
He did.
And that way, if he paid the hotel off, whoever there was, whether the owner, the night crew, the security, whatever, paid him off, then, hey, after 8 years, you can do what you want to do with this. But right now, hey, man, take this loop. So now they releasing it because Cassie's coming to say something, because that could have really got her paid. That would have really gotten her paid.
The key thing is that we didn't see the video for 8 years is because it was rumored and it's now been confirmed that he paid $50,000 for this video to go away. That
wouldn't have been enough for me.
The federal complaint that was filed by Cassie in November, where she settled, Diddy settled with her. This very incident that we witnessed in this video that was released over the weekend is listed as one of the incidents that happened to her while she was with him.
One.
And now that's the key. One. It's not like it was a one-off, but this was, yeah.
Go back in the scenario. R. Kelly himself kept VHS tapes. Right?
Wow. Right.
Diddy's in the new era, 2016. We got physical stuff that we can get based on technology, right? So you can't tell me on that. So if I was Cassie's lawyer, just me, I'm just hypothetically thinking, just me out the blue. But if I was Cassie's lawyer, I would want to figure out that situation. I would have went at that hotel, or maybe even at the management, or maybe even the owner, because you knew about it. Because it's a possibility that she tried to say something, and I'm like, man, go ahead on with that. You're talking about Diddy. That stuff didn't happen to you. You fell down, bumped your head. He's pulling you back in the room because you fell down, you were drunk. Somebody's going to paint a picture to make her look bad, not in the situation. So now he wants to sit there and apologize and moan and groan and do the things of that nature, because of now you're in a situation where you got caught, and there's no open door to get out this time because the world sees it.
Right. Everyone sees it. The question I had, Diddy doing an apology video, do you believe him? Should we, as the fans, forgive him for what he's done? I think I asked that question in the chat. Should we give him for his actions against Cassie?
Well, here's where I look at that, Val. Again, Val, I'm gonna be hard. I'm not on here as R. Kelly fan, any of that at all. I'm a Chicago guy. I know my dude did wrong, so forth and so on. They both had top-notch music. That's the problem with us sometimes. We want to pick and choose. We want to divide how we want to do this to this person. We want to do this to that person, blah, 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 blah. Now, this could have been a situation R. Kelly could have came out, maybe, who knows, but that never came out on the video. He did some ruthless stuff and this and that, and you took him down a certain lane. But you're saying that now, according to Mike Tyson, on Mike Tyson's podcast, and a couple of things he wrote and talked about, he said he told the authorities, and he mentioned on a couple of other things, that it was mentioned to him during the time that Diddy's involvement with Tupac. So some of this stuff, Val, you got to look at. This stuff is bigger than what you're looking at right now with Cassie. And this Cassie situation is just a piece of the puzzle that fell out of the box. And now you're going to have more young ladies coming, because at first they weren't going to do this because of the scenario. Now these young women see this video. Oh, I guarantee the next few weeks to a month, there'll be a few more that pop up, because the difference between both of those scenarios is Diddy's got young guys. He got Justin Bieber and Timberlake and now Lil' Kim. The list is starting to just pile up. And so the question is, you mean to tell me that you can't go get him?
Well, I just know what I'm sitting here trying to make sure I bring up at least the digital still of the the apology, because I'm just thinking to myself, I don't really know if I believe you. Wise says here, he says, well, he didn't ask for forgiveness. He needs to make it right with all of his victims and his children.
How do you do that, though, Wise? How do you make that right? Yeah, you got a right or wrong, right? Or you got a wrong or right. How do you make that right?
Yeah, that's a very, very good question. And like I said, it's disturbing because he has daughters. So I'm thinking, would you want a man to treat your daughters in the same way that you treated Cassie? It's just that simple. I don't think, like, I'm looking at him in this picture. I'm looking at him in this video, Coach, and I feel nothing but, why did you you're sorry because you got caught. You're not, so you never mention Cassie. You never mention her. And you look disheveled. You look like you haven't gotten any sleep. You look tired. It's beyond reprehensible for what you did in this video. But like I said, this is, as you said, Coach, this is scratching the surface of the crazy.
Yeah, he on the run.
We don't know of all of the crazy that he is involved in and what he has done to hurt tens of people.
Right. I think he's on the move. I think he's on the run. He's on the run from his own internal spiritual self. He's on the run from the Lord. I do know that. And again, Wise, I'm about to drop some 24-karat nuggets, as you mentioned. There is no way to right this wrong. The only way you can do is take this one for the team, as they used to say. That's it. All you can do is, he's on that, what do you get, 35, 40, 50-foot waves in Hawaii. That's a big wave. He got to ride that surfboard, baby. You ain't no jumping off. You jump off that wave in the air, you're going to hit the floor. And that floor of the ocean. And sometimes that is critical, because you may not come up. He's going to have to ride this out. There is no, let me go apologize. There's not an apology in the book big enough. You've already opened a checkbook up. You've already paid out. You already did this and that. And again, a non-guilty man would have not did it. You know, Bill Cosby, for example, they took the Jell-O pudding man out of business. You know what I'm saying? And he still didn't say, I did anything, period. And none of this like this. And this was 1972, 73, Val, with no video.
Right.
So now,
there was a lot of people that came out about Bill. And here's the thing: the reason why a lot of women never come forward with abuse, especially if it's done by someone that's famous, is because they don't feel that they're going to be believed. It's just that simple. Why didn't she come out before? Why didn't she say something earlier?
That's why you got to have them folks around you. You got to have them people.
You got to have my mans in them, or Mookie in them, because I got Mookie in them from the Bronx. I can go and call them. I can call Mookie in them from the Bronx. We can handle some things. And what is this? Now, I want to show this again. Kevin said the New York mayor might go ahead and revoke the key. And then Mark asked, so are we going to get the key? Come on, Mark. You're being cheeky there. You're being a little cheeky there. His question: does this remind you of the Michael case back in the day? Michael Jackson case, or is that what he means?
I'm not sure. Yeah. So what are you saying there, Mark?
Yeah, exactly. And then of course, what the Wise says, Sean has to ride that wave. You're right, Coach T. Yeah.
Got to ride it, Wise, because you got to look at it like this, Wise. You got to look at it like this. That wave comes in threes, right? We got the small, got the medium, and got the large. He rode that small wave because of the scenario. He went on and got married, lied to his current wife. I didn't do this and do that. So he's on that small wave. Then all of a sudden, Tupac situation come out, and we find out who killed Tupac. Finally hit the news last year. And then in that piece of the news, we find out that all of a sudden Diddy's name started beaming around that. So now that wave gets a little bit bigger. It had nothing to do with Bad Boy Entertainment. It was just had to do with Biggie. P. Diddy, where they found out the night that all this went down, he was still in that scenario situation. Then the wave got a little bit bigger because now he's with Biggie during the time Biggie gets knocked off. And now all of a sudden, the boxer Mike Tyson, who was a piece of all this, said, I told you 30 years ago, roughly, what happened and what I knew. And everybody said I was crazy. And now 30 years later, it's coming out. Now, wise, he gets on that tsunami. And the only way to stop a tsunami is let it hit land. And a lot of people got to go down. Because when a tsunami hits, unfortunately, it takes a few bodies with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so so Mark kind of clarified. He's talking about Michael Jackson. He's talking about the Michael Jackson case. This is here's the thing with the difference between the Michael Jackson case and what's happening with Sean Diddy is because of the timeline. And
right.
here's the thing. I saw there was the documentary that came out about Neverland and the young men that claimed to be abused by Michael Jackson. They did a whole documentary. And as I was listening to them, I was like, well, I believe them, but I was thinking, why didn't they come out sooner than this? And why didn't you come out when Michael was alive, where Michael could either challenge it or something he could defend himself or say something about it? But here's the thing: was there any proof that it happened? Not that it needs to be any proof. You should be able to believe someone's words. And like I said, it becomes very, very hard to pinpoint abuse, especially if someone famous, because we, the unknowing public, want to love you. We want to celebrate you. We want to listen to your music without feeling guilty. I feel guilty when I hear Step in the Name of Love. I feel guilty now when I hear bad boy. You make me feel so good. I don't feel no good no more, Coach, when I hear that song. I cringe. You know what movie I was watching recently, Coach? Remember the movie Girls Trip?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember what major event the girls went to in that movie?
Yeah, at the end of the movie, when my girls
not the end of the movie. Not the end of the movie. Throughout the movie, where were they?
They were there because of the abuse of the lying boyfriend / husband.
No, they were at the Essence Music Festival in New Orleans. Guess who was one of the main stage performers of the Essence Music Festival when they shot that?
Who? Diddy?
Yeah. Yeah. He's all over our music. He is all over hip hop. You can't.
I don't put Michael in there as well, Mark, because Michael, again, like Val said, you're talking about a child. And I don't, I didn't see anything like this. Unless you're talking about Chris Tucker was talking about when Michael was a pimp, and had the people on the stroll, what I'm saying, him and Tito, that's, on the comedy, that maybe that Michael, but the real Michael, no, I didn't see the real Michael anything like this. I didn't see any pictures, photos of Michael stomping a kid out, Michael busting him in the head, Michael putting a little monkey on him, because he could have put the monkey on him. The monkey was tough.
He could have put Bubbles on. He could have done that. But
Bubbles had demands in them. You know what I'm saying?
But in all seriousness, I feel like those two cases are different. And so, but here's the thing: what runs similar between them both is the unbelievability of the victims because of how famous the victimizer is. Michael was extremely famous.
Sure.
Like he was the
king of pop. The jungle Africa famous.
Right, exactly. So he was that famous. And last I checked, the net worth of P. Diddy, $1.1 billion. That's how much he's worth.
I forgot. And how much did Cassie get?
It's rumored that it was 30 to 50 million.
Okay, so we're talking 30 to 50 million pre-video. right?
And he settled within 24 hours of the
Yeah,
filing
yeah.
of the suit.
So again, though, Val, I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking 30 to 50 pre-video, post-video, and I've been telling you what this dude been doing to me. I won't have. I'm like Eddie Murphy on Phone Phone. AD, I won't have. AD, I won't have. Because now we talking. Now I'm gonna hurt your pockets. Now I'm gonna hurt everything you got going on. Now I'm gonna do this. Now you do that. It's rough enough. You got these guys that keep talking about it and keep mentioning these things. The 50 Cent talks about it, right? You got a lot of guys that ran away from it, and then you got all not only with Kales with the young lady, but you got Diddy with grown men. I mean, he done put some dudes on TV. TD Jackson lost, stepped up off the yard. You know what I'm saying? He got some powerful people that's been up in these suitcases. Well,
yeah, there's a whole lot of if anyone's been listening to Jaguar Wright, if anyone's been listening to Orlando Brown, has anyone's been listening to some of the folks that have been bold enough to speak up against the system and someone like P. Diddy, a lot of ugly is coming out. A lot of it that I can't confirm or know about. But here's the thing: when I hear, and I've seen a couple of interviews with Jaguar Wright saying that yes, her life's been threatened. Yes, I'm looking over my shoulder and making sure everything is okay. When other people step up and say something against the powers that be or against people that's in power, like Diddy, something happens to them, and that's not good. And here's the thing: you have children, and I'm looking. When I see this picture of Cassie, I see a young, talented girl that was trying to get into the music industry, and you became a predator on that. And just, how could you hit someone? How could you do that?
Is it crazy that politicians, musicians, athletes, it's going to run down the line? But again, at the end of the day, I know Wise said something, Mark, Daniel, these guys. I want that question answered. What are we going to do? What can we do? What's right? How much music can we take away? What should be? Because let me tell you something. When you get to taking away music, you damn near taking away 60 to 70% of the radio. You got to take some records away from DJ Khaled, right? You got to take some records away from Mary J. You got to take some records from Jay-Z. You got to take mostly everything that Biggie had. His legacy will be in the dirt, done, right? I can go down, the new artist that just came out on a new album, he just got an award for. So my question to you again, I'm not saying I'm protecting my guy, I'm just saying what's right and what's wrong. You got R. Kelly doing all this time, doing all this. You said he was crazy, and you do all this and that. Now you come to see the stuff that he's in jail snitching on and talking about is now starting to come to fruition. So you've already said, oh man, I don't want R. Kelly music played on this and played on that. Blah, blah, blah. Michael Jackson, they still playing Michael's music. Because at the end of the day, depending on what the record is, I'm a DJ. I still play R. Kelly's music. I don't have a problem playing his music depending on which song that I play, because the music and the record didn't do anything to what his mental, physical mind was, like P. Diddy. So the thing is, if you now going to go put Kelly in this box, and now he's already doing his time and everything else, and look like he may or may not ever get out, and now Michael Jackson's going to the other side of the world, hanging out with Jesus and God. Now you got his music, some of it still played. So now the question is, if you're going to go down that pipe with those people that we just talked about, what are you going to do about this guy? And don't give me that, he apologized. That's some crap. I don't want to hear all that. We're going to hurt the cat because he's not in a 10 by 10 for the rest of his life. He's out here still paying people off. So if that's the case, then he just took an L for one game. I'm good with it. I could take an L for one game, 50 mil in a bill. That man, you ain't even getting 1%. I'm cool with that loss because my interest on my money, I got that 50 mil back in probably 17 days. Easy. And
Right.
and if I wrote it, did it the right way, that 50 mil became a write-off on taxes. So my question is, you destroyed Kales, right? Empire, done, destroyed, down the drain, the whole 9 yards, and we see that crumple and boom. It was like the wall happened when the wall fell. Remember when the wall came down in the Soviet?
Right,
Boom.
right.
So now we're looking at the same thing. If you let him, don't do that again. I'm gonna do that again. I don't have to do it again. It's probably already been done. It just hadn't came out. So when the next video come out, the next person jumps up, then what are we gonna say? Oh man, somebody should have did something when Cassie said. Okay, well, you should have. That's a shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah. The most disturbing thing is that I look at Sean as a contemporary. We're around the same age. You are destroying the great memories I have of music because I have to now put it on pause and think, but you beat people, you assault women. I can't, in good conscience, continue to listen to your music when I know what you do. I'm sorry. I can separate the man from the art, but the art of hip hop, that's something that's us, Tony. That's what we grew up with. That's us. Like our parents, their music might have been jazz. It might have been bebop. That might have been what they engrooved and what they loved. And they were like, no one can play music like Dizzy Gillespie, or no one can jazz and scat like a Ella Fitzgerald. Like our music. And can you imagine BB King? Do you know what horror the Black performer went through in the 19th century trying to get their name out there and perform? Like, the people that are doing well in music today, you stand on the shoulders of folks where they could only do the Chitlin circuit, where they were called an N-word when they perform, where they couldn't perform in certain areas. Like, do you understand the legacy that you're messing with by simply you not keeping your hands to yourself and getting some help, because he needs help. And he's been doing this for a long time.
A long time. He do it in his sleep. I mean, and you just pinpointed it about, and again and again and again. The situation, it's not done. I don't think it's done. I don't think it's done for one moment, for one bit. I think that the wall is starting to crumble at the top. It's like playing what's the game you play? You pull the Legos out, you put them, stack them on top. Jenga. It's like playing Jenga. It's just a matter of time when that right peg gets pulled, and that wall is going to come crumbling down. Again, everybody talking about, oh yeah, you can't talk about X, Y, Z. That's a rumor mill. You're right. That is a rumor mill. But when the rumor becomes truth, then what? Then those same people say, oh man, my bad. Because we know about the truth. We know there's your story, there's my story, then there's the truth.
Exactly.
Right?
Those are the things right there. Mm-hmm. Right.
Exactly. So when you tell your story and I tell my story, but then the truth comes out, and then the truth hurts and it hits you, then only thing you can do is like, man, damn, wow. So now all he's doing right now is trying to backtrack on something he already know that was there. I knew the video was there. I already paid 50 stacks for that. I just was hoping it stayed away longer than it did. But you know something? I'm cool with that because it's after the statute of limitations. So she can't come sue again, and we can't talk about it. If I was her, I'd be like, no, you know something? I don't even want the deal. whether I got, because she was already had decent money to take care of herself, I'd have continued to fought that case down the road. I was like, we're gonna take this to the end of the road. You know, like the Boys and Men said, to the end of the road.
Oh, Coach is singing. Oh, Coach is singing. You know something is up if Coach is singing. There you go. So at the end of it all, Coach, and we, like I said, we'll be monitoring this, but I feel like this is not the end of it. There's more to come. I don't know how much more it is to come, but there is more to come. Will Diddy be prosecuted on something, on some assault, on something? The raid happened a lot. I feel like the feds are going through a lot of what he has. I feel like if he is not directly arrested, it's because he has something on some very, very important people. So it's a matter of negotiating those deals. And here's the thing, as far as the music career of P. Diddy at this point, I believe he's done. I'm so sorry. And people say you can
but it's got to be
a
lot of people. There's got to be people on top of people on top of people on top of people supporting that. Because you know as well as I know, and maybe you don't, but I definitely know. When the feds come, they already got what they need. When the feds roll up on you, they was a garbage man on Wednesday. They was the landscaping company that came out and cut the grass on Tuesday. They was my man that rode down the street on a bicycle. The two young guys that went jogging in the neighborhood, and all the weird stuff you see. People doing this. That's the Fed. When the Fed comes, they already got their whole story. They got pictures. They got everything. So right now, if the Feds got all that and Diddy still ain't down, he's got some people that he's got in the safe. That when he pulled that safe, opened that safe up, and he said, you know something? If y'all gonna take me down, man, go ahead and we need to handle these too. And those people may not even be in power no more. They may not be a police captain anymore. They may not work for department. They may not be in the White House no more. They may, whoever it is. But if he comes out, I think a lot of folks fall. And that's why they've been so careful with this, to kind of just say, you know something, it's best to just let each of the accuser fight their own battle, go to court, and it's easier to have him pay out and negotiate than to take him down, and then it's going to crumble another, 9/11. Because that's what's going to be, another 9/11.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be that extreme. I just feel like if he gets arrested, then it'll be him signing his death warrant, unfortunately, because someone in jail is probably going to try to get him, and I don't know if that could happen or if it should happen. But as my mother used to say, when she sees an atrocity like that happen with Cassie, he need to be up underneath the jail. I don't know what it means to go to jail. My mom feels like, she used to feel like you need to be underneath the jail, and I'm like, that's a little extreme, mama. But that's how the old sayings say. Old sayings like
say that. Yeah, they tell you the truth. Put them underneath
the jail, and I'm like, they just put it right there. So. But yeah, so we'll be monitoring this situation. But I definitely I'm going to ask Kevin if you could put the phone number of when there is domestic violence and you need to call someone for help. There is a domestic abuse 1-800 number that you can call. Please don't stay in a situation where violence is tolerated. You are the victim and you need to leave that situation. And of course, for men and women, there are some people believe, well, there's violence against men. Yes, there's violence against men too. There are some weird females out there. Any type of domestic violence is wrong. Yeah, that's from that series. Any type of domestic violence is wrong. So please get help. I'm going to ask Kevin to place that 1-800 number in the chat for me, and I'll go ahead and show it. But definitely, we want to make sure that you're safe and know that God has made you and you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You do not need to put up with any crazy like what we've seen, any foolishness. So,
and again,
NBA
Val,
playoffs.
I think real quick, change. My last point on this is that it goes back to me. I was talking to Coach Justin when you talked to him on Saturday, and I say you may laugh, you may do whatever it is. This is why back in the day, our old school rappers, they didn't, go to a lot of this because the old school rappers, they battle amongst one another. It was, about my block, your city, my city. And it wasn't until obviously till the NWA came and kind of changed some things that goes on. But when you get up to these new rappers and, and a lot of these guys are starting to change their ways, which is great. But you get a lot of these new rappers, we're talking about, catch a cat, kill a dog. Something's got to change. Until that does, we're going to struggle.
Yeah. So, and thank you so much for that, Kevin. If you've been impacted by sexual assault or family violence, call 1-800-RESPECT or 1-800-737-732 or visit 1-800-respect.org.au. Thank you so very much for that, Kevin, because
I think we're missing a digit on that number, and we were 1-800-737. That's a digit missing over there.
I feel like there's a digit missing in there too, but it's visit 1-800-respect.org.au. I think that'll be more or whatever. So we'll make sure that we do that. Okay. NBA playoffs. I feel like the little team that could. We got the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I said the winner who won that Minnesota Wolves and that Denver game, I said that last week, will go on. Yeah. I think that Dallas is going to give the Wolves a tough fight, but I just don't think they got anything for Ant-Man. I think Ant-Man Edwards is going to put up some numbers. I think he's going to do some things. And, with those 2 7-footers and Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns, that trio they got is ridiculous. Don't get me wrong. They got Luka and Kyrie over there in Dallas with a young, Mr. Lively and whatnot. But I just don't think they got the size to match up. And I think Minnesota moves on for the first time to the NBA World Championship game. And, right now, Indiana has showed up in Boston, and they got a tea party they self going on right now. 4 minutes to go in the first game, 108-104 with 4 minutes to go in the game. I'm watching here. And, these boys came to play. And obviously Indiana's trying to get to their first world championship ring. So, the question people start saying, like college basketball, when you don't have the favorites in, is it going to be watched? Sure, it's going to be watched. They talk the same crap against, the South Carolina and Iowa with Caitlin Clark and going against Dawn Staley. Yeah, people are going to watch that because if no one else tunes in, everybody from Minnesota, everybody from Indiana is going to tune in if those go. So I still say Boston gets by this series, and you got a Boston versus Minnesota NBA championship series coming next.
Yeah, this is exciting. This is very exciting.
So purposes only.
Purposes only. You got to make sure that you say that because we don't want you. We got a 1-800 number for betting. We don't want you to have develop an issue of betting and you don't know what you're doing.
Right. Don't be calling 1-800 Coach Tony. That's one too many numbers.
We don't want you to do that. We want you to make sure that you are balancing this out. But I'm excited. And of course, have you got a chance to see any of the WNBA games? The women, have you got a chance to see them?
Love it. Absolutely love it. This go to show you how good these women are. And by the way, please keep watching as we close out. I got some news for you. But please keep watching these women. This go to show you how good they are. You got a young girl in Caitlin Clark who's come into the WNBA, the largest contract outside of, the WNBA deal at $28-30 million. And she is struggling through 3 games. She's averaging almost 8.5 to 10 turnovers, which she's never had in Iowa. Indiana is 0-4, have not won a game yet, Val. She's only averaging around 18 to 20 points. And that just lets you know at the next level, everybody is good. You're not playing that.
Right.
You're not playing that 17, 16, 17, 18-year-old freshman anymore. You playing people that this is their livelihood, man. Wake up.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have not watched the WNBA, I'm telling you now, not for promotional purposes, I'm telling you for real. Turn on a game, watch these women. They are coming. The salaries are coming, Val. The league is going to get bigger. The talent is going to get better. And over the next 3 to 4 years, you're about to see the WNBA, that logo, explode.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to come of it, because like I said, it's something that is long overdue. With number one, the increase in salary, that's number one. And then number two, with just the popularity. I'm going to be in a couple of weeks seeing a Chicago Sky game. It'll be good to see Angel Reese and my hometown. Yes, exactly. Candoza, want to see her as well. So yeah, I'm excited to see what is going to be happening with that. And so most definitely it's a major thing to celebrate what's going to be happening with the WNBA. And like I said, all we need to do is just support them. All we need to do is support the girls, and
the W, as they call it.
Right, support the women. And like I said, I think with Caitlin, she's going to get better. She's going to get better, regardless of what struggles she might be having in her first couple of games. Coach, I believe that she's going to get better.
Let me tell you something. Rookie, you still putting up 20 in the league, you good. It's just you got to figure all the other nuances out about defense and speed and the physicality of the game. At this level, they're going to let people bump you. They're going to let people shove you, get into you. You're a professional now, right?
Exactly.
Come on,
exactly.
Man.
So
stop playing with me.
She's gonna be fine. She's gonna be fine. Now, what's this news that you have that you want to tell us? What's going on?
Well, as we close out the show, I want to thank you guys again. Like last night, we had one of the guests, April. Thank you again. Nephew was off the charts. A lot of people checking in on Ben Simmons. The Ben Simmons from Ben X Sports was with me last night, Val. Great show. And the funny part about it is something that Ben and I talked about last night, Val, and I got to mention, if you remember last night, we spoke about, and he was very adamant about these NIL deals for these college kids. And sometimes this stuff can go wrong, go left, and where they're getting the money, but they're not getting it from the proper sources, all coming from the collectives, which is basically, businesses or boosters that's already supporting the university. So it's not like they're helping these kids out. Well, today, there was a situation today that came down. One of the kids had a lawsuit and is suing the university for, as he called it, messing up his NIL deal for millions of dollars. We just talked about that last night. So having said that, meaning that you need to be watching and check in with your boy, Mr. Mark, with the Pull Up Podcast Show. And I will be bringing up in the next few weeks here, coming in the month of June, we have got Coach Kenny Blakeney coming in from Howard University. I'm loving that. We got we got Rusha Brown, ex-WNBA player, coming on the show. And we've got one of the high college coaches. So, we're going to probably take a hiatus for the holiday. But as we get back to June, we're going to hit you in the head some more like Mike Tyson. So guard your grill, like third base used to say, right? And I'm excited about, and I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And we want to definitely thank Ben X Sports, aka Ben Simmons, for coming in on last night to the Pull Up Podcast every Monday at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Pull up. It's time to talk sports one quarter at a time with our very own Coach Tony. Man, oh man, this has been a fabulous, fabulous show. Man, oh man, I'm so happy. But of course, coming soon, a DJ Saved My Life. You can find out more about the ebook, and it's coming. It's happening. I was supposed to have a picture of our guest for next week, all the way from Bermuda. She's going to be joining us, Miss Janita Burke. She's a singer, songwriter, and they're going to be celebrating their national Bermuda Parade Day this coming weekend. So she's going to come, and she's got a brand new single out. As we approach June, which is Black Music Month, we're going to be giving you guys some great interviews with some talented musicians, and we're going to be celebrating music as we speak. Patreon, of course, join us with that. But Coach Tony, as this has been a phenomenal Interludes Extra Talk on Tuesdays, I thank you so much for being here in the virtual building.
Hey, come on now. You know how we do it. You know how I do it, my sister. We do it right every night, all night, every day.
Thank you so much for that, King Wise. Oh my gosh. And thank you so much for that, Mr. Springer. So join us on next week. Now, next week we'll be live. We'll be live on next Tuesday. But Janita Burke will be joining us on that all the way from Bermuda. So excited about that. But it's me and Coach Tony. We'll see you soon. Peace.